Welcome. Today I'm going to be talking about perfectionism and why perfection I think exists. Today I'm going to be talking about perfection and why I think it exists. Welcome. Today I'm going to be talking about perfection. Hello. Today I'm going to be talking about perfection and why I believe it exists. Hey, this is X video. Hey, this is another video about me just talking to the camera. I'm going to try to articulate why I think perfection exists. There are hello. Hey, today I'm just going to be giving some of my thoughts on this topic of winning or losing. Um, I think a lot of people like to lose small rather than win big. Um, there's a lot of people who would like to do something instead of would really want to. Don't know where I'm going with this. Sticking to a script is hard. There are some companies who will wait until they have the perfect hire. People think perfection doesn't exist, but I think it's on the mentality. Um, you might get people who are super specific about what they want. They say, you can't make these tiny little mistakes. You have to do everything in our way or in this perfect way. Um, but I don't view it like that. I view it like they want the ground, or they don't want to spend the time teaching little things. They would rather have somebody who is more who is who is better suited and more experienced in the realm that they're looking for. So much so that they won't be making the small mistakes like that. And when you have large experience, I believe that's just avoiding a lot of little mistakes rather than knowing what big things to go after. I feel like this contradicts what I'm saying about winning big or losing small. Talk. I don't want to talk. You get 5. Yeah, I'm gonna. Now I'm worried that the person next door is hearing me and listening in. I go rah, 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 rah. Listen, I don't know what to talk about, dude. The fuck? I have thoughts. I want to share my thoughts, dude. I want to share these thoughts. With who? Who do I share them with? These thoughts are not interesting thoughts. Like, they're only interesting to me. So, like, these people have had these thoughts before. Uh, People have had these thoughts before. Like, what's the point of me saying these thoughts or expressing them? There might be people who haven't had these thoughts before, and I guess that would be good for, like, that's good to put on YouTube because people wouldn't have had these thoughts. But, like, in everyday life, like, the people you're around and the people you spend most of your time with are going to be around the same level as you are, and the same level as where you want to be. There's a very different distinction between liking something and wanting something. I think wanting something is a lot deeper and has to do with, like, how you orient your life around this thing. Liking something is just pleasure, is pleasureful. I do a lot of noticing. Okay, how about this? I'm just gonna change this video. Instead of winning, lose, or winning, lose, or bigging small, I'm gonna just kind of ramble here. I saw a I saw a quote that said "win big or lose small," and it kind of it kind of put things into perspective of how I live my life. Um, I think winning big is a good mentality to have, and I want to have that mentality. I would like to have that mentality. Um, but losing small is the one that I want, I guess. It's the one that I need. Psychologically need, maybe. I don't know how that works, but what's to talk about? Winning, lose, bigging small. I do a lot of noticing of myself, but I think I've started to overindulge in this, like, noticing everything about myself. Um, I do a lot of noticing, and there's very little doing afterwards. It's just, oh my god, I noticed this, and it's almost like I'm gooning, but with my thoughts. I think I saw a quote by Chris Williams, and he coined this term, which I really, really like, called mental masturbation. Yeah, and I'll just, oh my god, look, I noticed this thing about myself, and I'm so aware. But this isn't, like, this goes back to liking and wanting. I need to, I would like to stop wanting things. I would like to stop liking things and to start being things. I want to start being the things that I want to be. I think this is a good distinction between the word like and want. Um, like I said earlier, liking is being appeased by something. Like, this thing would satisfy, like, a desire that I have, but wanting is, I don't know, it's something like, if you want something, you will orient your life. You will, like, move things around yourself uh, to have this come to fruition. Yeah. And then I don't know, is this channel just gonna be me like just fucking dumping on the camera and like just hoping people are interested in what I have to say. I think so. I think that's what I'm doing. If I'm doing this, does that mean that I want people to be interested in what I'm saying? I mean, I guess so. I'm doing the things. Even right now, look at me. I'm fucking mentally gooning right now. I'm trying to think of more things to notice about myself so I can splurt it into the camera, so I can get validation from people online, so I can so I can continue gooning like I'm doing right now. God damn it, such a gooner. Let's start reading. Let's do 10 minutes of reading like I was doing earlier. About weed. Do with that what you will. Here's a Quran I have. Where to start? I feel weird about saying this out loud. Part 1, the opening. Al-Fatiha. 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 Oops. This Meccan chapter, which is recited a total of 17 times in the 5 daily prayers, serves as the cornerstone of the Quran, and it is customary to say Ameen or Amen at the end. It sums up the relationship between the Creator and His creation, God's undisputed authority in this world and the hereafter, and humanity's constant dependence on Him for guidance and assistance. It identifies God as the Lord of all worlds, that is, everything from animals and plants to humans and even angels. Interesting. The underlying theme is to acknowledge that He is the only God worthy of worship, a simple truth with which the disbelievers fail to grasp. All fundamental principles encapsulated in this chapter are spelled out in the rest of the Quran. All fundamental principles encapsulated in this chapter are spelled out in the rest of the Quran. Interesting. So if I have questions, it looks like it'll be answered later, is what they're saying. Based on the instruction in 16:98, it is recommended to say the following before reading the Quran. I seek refuge with God from Satan, the accursed. I seek refuge with God from Satan, the accursed. I think the Arabic for that is وَحَوْدُ بِاللَّهِ مِنَ الشَّيْطَانِ الرَّجِيمِ. وَحَوْدُ بِاللَّهِ, I seek refuge. وَحَوْدُ بِاللَّهِ, I seek refuge with God, I think. The first part. Mina shaitan, from Shaitan. Mina shaitan al-rajim. I don't think rajim means the accursed. Let's Google that right now. Rajim. Arabic. Compassionate, merciful, or kind. Rahim is merciful, compassionate, or kind. Let me look up the dua for protection from shaitan in Arabic. I seek So I can't find that. I'm gonna look up just like the phonetic spelling of what I was thinking. It says Ahuduhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. I seek refuge in Allah from the accursed Satan. Oh, it is that. Yeah. It is recited by Muslims to seek protection from evil influences, including whispers, waswas of shaitan, negative thoughts, and spiritual distractions. The phrase translates to "I seek refuge." Yeah, "A'udhu billah minash shaitanir rajim." Minash shaitanir rajim. Minash shaitanir. Minash shaitanir rajim. What does irrajim mean? What does that mean? Irrajim. Control C, Control T, Control V, space, meaning. Ar-Rajim means the accursed. Oh, it does mean accursed. Okay, the one who is cast away. It refers to Satan, Shaitan, as someone who is eternally expelled from Allah's mercy and grace. Cool. Let's write that down. I think I know that one, so I want to write it down on here. I'm going slow with this book, but I think that's okay. Apparently I have my whole life to go after it. Oh man. Oh, that's the cow. Here we go. Where's that pen? Oh, here it is. Doesn't have to be this pen. This is just the one I've been using. Hold the blood. أعوذ بك من همزات الشياطين وأعوذ بك ربي أن يحضرون. What does that mean? Meaning, my Lord, I seek refuge with you from the whisperings of Shaitan. I seek refuge with you, my Lord, as they should, lest they should come near me. Let me reopen that last one. A'udhu billah. A'udhu billah. Billahi. Minash. Shaitan. Rajim. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Cool. Prayer for guidance. This is, looks like 7, I think this is verses maybe? Or 7 sentences? But we'll see. Prayer for guidance. In the name of God, the most compassionate, most merciful, all praise is for God, Lord of all worlds, the most compassionate, most merciful, Master of the day of judgment. You alone we worship, and you alone we ask for help. Guide us along the straight path, the path of those you have blessed, not those you are displeased with, or those who are astray. They put alone, it's not, I don't think it's quotation marks, but it looks like the corners of a box. They kind of boxed it, but they just have the top 2 corners on that on the alone. I'm not too sure what that means. You alone we worship. I think you alone we worship means la ilaha. No, la ilaha illallah means there is but one God. There is but. I don't. The language there is kind of iffy for me, but I'll remember. I'll figure it out someday. There's one God, only one God, and that one God is Allah. Like, is what that means. La ilaha illallah. I'm at 19 minutes. I think I'll stop it right here. Yeah, we went over a couple of things, and I just always end up reading the Quran because that's what's near me. I might get another book. I want to read The Magicians. I think that's a good book to read. By Lev Grossman. I don't know if it's a good book to read. It's just a book that's interesting. I have it on my shelf. I've been wanting to read it. But I don't have it here with me. It's back at home. Let's see if I went through all my bullet points. Win, loser, big, small. Stop wanting and start being. Oh yeah, I wrote in parentheses, I want to give advice. Like, I want to be a bigger brother. Cross that out. Blank, scratch, no. I will give advice. I will be a bigger brother. And all the resistance there is just unfamiliarity, as someone says. I forget his name. Asian fellow with glasses, um, and like spiky hair almost. Like, he talks about speech and articulation actually, and like being concise with your words and like learning how to public speak and like talk. Um, yeah, I'm not doing do a lot of noticing, very little doing of anything else. That's right. I do spend a lot of time in my head. I've been doing an exercise recently. There's a fan on that my roommate always likes to keep on, to my dismay. But I've been like, if I notice I'm in my head, I'll try to listen to the fan, like be present with the sound of the fan instead of like just hearing the fan and incorporating the fan as part of just like the environment in my mind. What I mean by that is sometimes you will um, sometimes you will there are changes that happen all the time in the world around you, but you acclimate to them pretty fast. Like you put on your clothes, the most common example, you put on your clothes, you don't feel your clothes on you after like 10 seconds probably. You turn on the fan or something for some white noise, you might not hear it as much. You could hear it, but you don't notice it as much. Um, so a good exercise I've been doing is trying to notice. Look at me noticing again. Um, has been noticing like the fan instead of like uh, like being present with the fan noise. And what I notice, it's good that kind of takes me out of my head, because if I'm in my head a lot, I start to like spiral into uh, thoughts, and then eventually, it's not even good or bad thoughts. It's just eventually I'll happen upon a thought that will maybe trigger a memory or trigger like an emotion, and it'll just be a bad emotion, and I wouldn't want to feel that. And I'll notice that happen because I just spent so much time in my head ruminating on whatever or on something. So I like that fan. It takes me out of my head and it lets me like be present and like I'll like especially at nighttime when it's like 4 a.m. and I can't go to sleep. I notice I'll be in my head. Oh my god, I'm so sleepy. I need to go to sleep. I'm sleepy. I need to go to sleep. I'm only get this much time asleep. But then I'll just listen to the fan, and I'll instead of like thinking I'm sleepy, I'll be sleepy. That makes sense. I'll like listen to the fan, and instead of thinking about how I feel, I will just feel how I feel. And so I'll just listen to the fan. Instead of thinking about hearing the fan, I will just hear the fan. Yeah, I guess I don't know where this kind of trailed off into here and there. Hopefully I'll stop thought gooning. Yeah, thank you, and peace.